The air in Riverview High's locker room smells like sweat and rust, the kind of stale tang that clings to your skin no matter how fast you try to leave. I'm early. Too early, because that's what I do. I show up before the world notices, before the noise of the day drowns out the quiet I've learned to wrap myself in. My sneakers squeak against the tiled floor, echoing in the empty space, and I clutch the strap of my camera bag like it's a lifeline. The fluorescent lights hum above, casting jagged shadows across the lockers. I'm not here to play soccer, not really. I'm here because it's the only place I can breathe without someone reminding me I'm nobody. My name is Ava, and I'm the girl nobody sees. Not the bullied kid, not the star, just the shadow in the background of everyone else's story. My sister Lily makes sure of that. She's the sun in this small Oregon town, the cheerleader with the perfect smile, the one who lights up every room she walks into. Me, I'm the blur in her photos, the half-cropped figure you squint at and forget. I've spent years learning to be okay with that, to stay quiet, to keep the peace, but peace, I'm starting to realize, is just another word for surrender. I set my bag down, the zippers rasp louder than it should be. The locker room is supposed to be safe, a sanctuary for the girls' team, but it feels like a cage tonight. My fingers brush the cool metal of my locker, number 47, dented from years of use, and I try to focus on the routine. Open the door, grab my shin guards, get out before the others arrive, but then I hear it. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, not the light tread of my teammates. My stomach twists, a cold knot tightening. I freeze, one hand still on the locker handle, and listen. The steps don't hesitate. They're coming closer, echoing off the walls like a predator's stride. I turn, my breath catching, hoping it's just a janitor or a coach who forgot something. But the door swings open, and I see them. Noah, Lily's boyfriend, strides in first, his quarterback swagger unmistakable even in the dim light. Behind him, Ethan and Caleb, his teammates, follow like wolves trailing a kill. Their team hoodies are slung carelessly over their shoulders, and their grins are sharp, practiced. My heart slams against my ribs, but I don't move. Maybe if I stay still, they'll laugh it off, realize they're in the wrong place, and leave. I've been invisible long enough to believe that could work. Early bird hive. Noah's voice cuts through the air, low and smug. He steps closer, his sneakers scuffing the tiles. Lily said you'd be here. Creature of habit. My fingers tighten on the strap of my bag. I don't look at him, don't answer. I've learned that silence is safer than words when you're the one nobody cares about. But Ethan slams his palm against the locker next to me, the clang reverberating in my skull. I flinch, my shoulder knocking into the metal behind me, and the sound is a gunshot in the quiet. Noah leans in, close enough that I can smell the mint gum on his breath. You don't belong here, he says, his voice almost bored. And you sure as hell don't belong in her world. I should run. I should scream. But my legs are ice, and my throat is a locked door. I glance up, just for a second, and catch something in Noah's eyes. Calculation, not anger. He's not doing this because he hates me. He's doing it because she told him to. Lily, my sister, the girl who spent years making sure I know my place. Before I can move, Noah grabs my wrist, his grip like a vice. I try to pull away, but he's stronger, and he shoves me hard. My back slams into the locker, and the sharp edge catches my face just above my lip. Pain explodes white-hot and blinding, followed by a warm trickle down my chin. I taste copper, and my knees buckle. I hit the floor, my vision swimming. Their laughter fills the room, sharp and cruel, bouncing off the walls like shrapnel. "One shove," Noah says, his voice dripping with mockery. "That's all it takes for the nobody." The door slams shut as they leave, the sound final, like a coffin lid closing. I sit there, Curled against the cold tiles, my hand pressed to my face. Blood smears my fingers, sticky and warm, but I don't cry. I don't scream. I just breathe, shallow and ragged, because that's all I can manage. Time stretches, seconds or minutes, I can't tell. My cheek throbs in time with my pulse, and the silence feels heavier than their laughter. I'm still on the floor when the door creaks open again, lighter this time. Ava! Zoe's voice, sharp with panic, cuts through the haze. She's on the team, one of the few who ever says my name like it matters. She drops her gym bag and sprints to me, kneeling so fast her knee skids on the tile. Oh my God, your face. What happened? I shake my head, the words trapped somewhere deep. Ascendancy. Paper towels, I whisper, my voice barely audible. Please. She doesn't ask again, just runs to the sink, soaks a wad of towels, and presses them gently to my lip. The sting makes my eyes water, but it's not the pain that hurts most. It's the betrayal, the cold certainty that Lily sent Noah here to break me, to keep me small. I'm home now, hours later, staring at the ceiling in my darkened bedroom. The cut on my lip stings under the bandage the school nurse slapped on after I mumbled something about tripping into a locker. My parents didn't ask much when I got home, just exchanged a glance and told me to keep it together, for Lily's sake. Her college applications are due soon, and they can't afford drama. I didn't argue. I never do. I washed my plate, climbed the stairs, and shut my door, locking out the world that doesn't see me. The light from the hallway seeps under my door, a thin golden line that feels like a lie. I think about Lily's voice at the assembly today, bright and cutting, calling me a nobody who fades into every background. The auditorium had erupted in laughter, students, teachers, even the principal, chuckling like it was nothing. I was 8 again, hiding behind the Christmas tree because Lily said my dress looked cheap. I've spent my life shrinking to make room for her light, but tonight, lying here, the bruise on my face pulsing, I wonder if silence has ever protected me at all. Lily comes home late, gliding into the kitchen like she's walking a red carpet. Mom touches her wrist, glowing with pride. "You were so funny today, sweetie," she says. Dad grins, his fork paused mid-bite. "That line about Ava? Classic. You owned that room." I blink, the word classic slicing deeper than the locker's edge. I mutter, "It wasn't funny." But Lily just rolls her eyes. "Don't be dramatic, Ava. It was a joke." Mom sighs, tells me I'm too sensitive. I swallow the words clawing at my throat, wash my plate and retreat upstairs. They don't stop me. They never do. In bed, I clutch the edge of my blanket, not for comfort, but to feel something solid. I think about my 11th birthday, when they gave me a hand-me-down necklace Lily didn't want and called it an heirloom. I smile and said thank you, learning even then how to disappear politely. But tonight, the cut on my lip throbs, and I know it wasn't an accident. Lily sent Noah to remind me I'm nothing. The realization doesn't break me. I'm not invisible, not anymore. Morning comes, gray and heavy, the Oregon sky pressing low over Riverview High. I pull on a hoodie, tug the hood up to hide the bruise blooming under my lip. Sunglasses help even though it's overcast. I tell Mom I have a migraine and she barely looks up from her tablet. At school, I keep my head down, my camera bag slung across my chest like armor. The hallways buzz with the usual chaos, lockers slamming, voices overlapping. But I feel the weight of eyes I can't see. I turn a corner near the auditorium and freeze. There they are. Noah leaning against a locker. Lily beside him, her hair tossed back as he whispers something that makes her laugh. Their laughter is a blade, twisting deeper because they know what happened. They know, and they're untouchable. I slip into the bathroom, lock myself in a stall, and check my phone. A notification pings. A new Instagram post from Noah. His smile fills the screen, smug and careless, with a caption that stops my heart. Some people bleed easy, guess we all have our talents. Below it, a single like stands out. Lily's, and her comment, "Bless her fragile little heart." My stomach doesn't drop. It hardens. I screenshot it, my thumb steady, and step out to wash my hands. The mirror reflects a girl I barely recognize. Bruised, yes, but not broken. I dry my hands and head to the library, where the quiet feels like a held breath. In the nonfiction aisle, I overhear two boys behind the stacks, their voices low but sharp. "Noah's lucky he didn't get caught," one says. "Doing that near the hallway cam? Dumb move." My fingers freeze on the spine of a photography book, the hallway camera. It's mounted above the side exit, right where Noah and his friends fled. I've passed under it 1,000 times, never thinking it could matter. Now my pulse races, not with fear, but with possibility. I wait until their voices fade, then slip out, nodding at the librarian like nothing's changed. But everything has. That camera might have seen me when no one else did. That night, after picking at dinner while Lily's at a study group at Noah's, I rummage through my desk drawer for a USB drive. I find one, red and peeling, labeled 7th grade talent show. Curious, I plug it in. A photo loads. Lily, center stage, sequined dress catching the light, her smile camera ready. I'm in the corner, half hidden behind someone's shoulder, my face uncertain, my body cut off by the frame. It's not just a photo, it's proof. Proof that Lily has always seen me as less than, a smudge to be cropped out. I print it, slip it into my backpack, and open my laptop. I draft an email to Mr. Kessler, the district's IT manager. Subject: request for camera review. I type carefully. I believe an incident involving my safety was recorded on the hallway camera outside the girls' locker room last Tuesday. I request access or confirmation of the footage, thank you. I save it as a draft, not ready to send but not ready to delete either. Later, my phone buzzes at 1:17 a.m., an unknown number, no name. A video is attached, grainy and shaky, filmed in a parking lot. Noah's voice is unmistakable, smug as ever. "She cried," he says, leaning against a car, grinning. "One shove, that's all it took. Freaking nobody." The click cuts off. My hands shake, but not from fear. Another message follows. "I'm sorry, I should have sent this sooner. Harper, my friend from middle school who drifted into Lily's orbit and vanished from mine." A third text. "I have the original file. Meet me behind the Driftwood Diner at lunch." The next day, I skip third period and take the long route to the diner. Harper's already there, under the awning, fidgeting with her sleeves like she used to in 7th grade. She looks tired, older, but her eyes are the same. She hands me a USB without a word. "I shouldn't have ignored it," she says finally. "But that assembly joke, I couldn't sleep after. I know what he did, and I know she knew." I take the drive, my fingers steady. "Why now?" I ask. She looks down. "Because you were bleeding and nobody said anything." She turns and walks away, leaving me with the weight of her words and the USB in my palm. That afternoon, I'm back in the school restroom, my backpack open on the tiled floor. I scroll through my phone, pausing when I see Noah's post again. The caption burns, "Some people bleed easy." Lily's like is still there, her comment unchanged. I print the screenshot in the library, tape it inside my locker. Not to hide it, but to remind me, if I need a reason to keep going, I whisper, "This is it." I'm cutting through the gym corridor to history when I see something that stops me cold. Mia, a freshman with a quiet voice and quieter steps, is pinned against the trophy case by Caleb, one of Noah's friends. His hand grips her backpack strap and her lips tremble. I don't think. I move. I step between them, my voice steady. Back off. Now. Caleb smirks, his eyes mocking. We're just talking. I don't believe you heard me. He holds my stare, then shrugs and walks away, whistling like he's untouchable. Across the hall, Coach Bennett watches but says nothing. I turn to him. You saw that. How long does silence keep your job safe? He looks at the floor, jaw tight, no answer. I walk Mia to her class. Her hand brushes mine at the doorway, a silent thank you. Later in my locker, I find a folded note, no name, just 4 words. You saved me. Don't stop. I read it 3 times, then tuck it into my pocket. That night, in my bedroom, I sit cross-legged on the floor, the note in my hand. I thought my voice was small, I whisper. Turns out, it just hadn't hit the right wall yet. The danger doesn't stop. It's Wednesday and I'm crossing the school parking lot when a black SUV roars toward me, tires screeching. I dive to the side, my camera bag slamming into my ribs as I hit the asphalt. The driver, Ethan, Noah's friend, leans out the window laughing. Careful, nobody, he shouts before speeding off. My heart pounds, but I stand, brushing gravel from my palms. Thursday, I open my locker to find red paint splattered across my books, the word nobody scrawled in dripping letters. I don't cry, I clean it in silence, the note from Mia still in my pocket. Friday night, walking home from the library, I hear footsteps behind me. A hooded figure trails me, too close, their shadow long under the streetlights. I turn down an alley, my pulse racing, but when I look back, they're gone, like a ghost I can't prove was there. Saturday, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Stay quiet, or else. I don't reply, but my grip tightens on the USB in my pocket. Sunday, during gym, a weight plate slips from a rack, crashing inches from my feet. The clang echoes, and Caleb's smirk from across the room tells me it wasn't an accident. Monday morning, an email arrives. Subject, scheduled testimony opportunity. I've been granted 10 minutes at the school board meeting this Friday, 4:30 p.m., room 206. My heart doesn't race, it steadies, like I've finally found solid ground. I fold the note from Mia into my palm, its words heavier than the USB. Okay, I whisper. Let's begin. I don't need them to believe me anymore. I need them to hear me. The USB in my pocket feels like a loaded gun, and for the first time, I'm ready to pull the trigger. But as I sit in the dark, the photo from the talent show stares back from my desk. Lily's smile cold and calculated, and somewhere out there another message is waiting, another threat, another shadow. I'm not invisible anymore, but I'm not safe either, not yet. The weight of the USB in my pocket feels like a stone, heavy with the truth nobody wants to hear. It's Thursday, the day before the school board meeting, and Riverview High hums with its usual chaos. Lockers slamming, laughter spilling from the cafeteria, the sharp squeak of sneakers on polished floors. But beneath it all, there's a current, a tension that follows me like a shadow. I'm not the Ava I was a week ago, the girl who shrank into silence to keep the peace. I'm something else now, something sharper. But that edge comes with a cost. Every step I take feels like walking a tightrope over a pit of whispers and glares. I'm in the hallway, my hoodie pulled low, sunglasses tucked into my bag because the bruise on my lip has faded just enough to pass as a bad fall. The screenshot of Noah's Instagram post, with Lily's cruel comment, "Bless her fragile little heart," is folded in my pocket next to Mia's note. I don't need to look at either to feel their weight. They're reminders, anchors, proof that I'm not imagining this war against me, but the USB with Harper's video of Noah bragging about shoving me into the locker is the real weapon. Tomorrow I'll use it. Tomorrow I'll make them see. I'm halfway to my locker when I hear it, a low hiss of my name, not loud, but deliberate. Ava. I turn and there's Lily, standing by the water fountain, her cheerleader uniform pristine, her hair pulled into a high ponytail that sways like a pendulum. She's alone, which is rare. No entourage, no Noah. Just her. Her eyes locked on me with something I can't read. Not anger, not guilt, but something colder. I don't move. Don't speak. I've learned that silence can be a shield, but today it feels like a blade. You're not going to do this, she says, her voice low, practiced like she's rehearsed it. You're not going to ruin everything I've worked for. Her words are a mirror of the warning she gave me in my bedroom, but this time there's a crack in her composure, a slight tremble in her lip. I tilt my head, just enough to meet her gaze. The bruise on my lip throbs faintly, a reminder of what she said in motion. You did this, I say, my voice steady, quieter than hers but heavier. Not me. Her eyes narrow, and for a moment I think she might step closer, might say something cutting, but she doesn't. She turns and walks away, her ponytail swinging, her steps too perfect, like she's already rewriting the story in her head. I watch her go, my heart pounding, not with fear, but with clarity. She knows I have something. She knows I'm not staying silent anymore. The rest of the day is a blur of classes, but the tension follows me. In chemistry, my lab partner Sophie notices the way I keep my head down, my fingers gripping my pencil too tight. You okay, Ava? She asks, her voice soft but curious. I nod, force a smile, but I can tell she doesn't buy it. She's one of the few who started looking at me differently since the locker room, like she's seeing me for the first time. I want to tell her about the USB, about the board meeting, but the words stick. Trust is a fragile thing, and I've learned not to give it away too easily. After school, I head to the library, needing the quiet to think. The librarian, Ms. Turner, gives me a nod as I slip into the nonfiction aisle, the same place where I overheard those boys talking about the hallway camera. I pull a book on photography off the shelf, pretending to read, but my mind is on tomorrow. The email I sent to Mr. Kessler, the IT manager, sits unanswered in my inbox. I check my phone again, hoping for a response, but there's nothing. Just the draft I saved, the words staring back at me. I believe an incident involving my safety was recorded. My thoughts are interrupted by a shadow falling across the page. I look up, and my breath catches. Caleb, one of Noah's friends, leans against the bookshelf, his arms crossed, his smirk as sharp as a knife. Heard you're stirring up trouble, Ava, he says, his voice low, almost playful. You sure you want to do that? My heart kicks against my ribs, but I don't look away. I'm not the one causing trouble, I say, my voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding my veins. He chuckles, but it's hollow, and he steps closer, close enough that I can smell the cologne he probably doused himself in. Careful, he whispers. Things can get worse. He doesn't touch me, doesn't need to. The threat is in his eyes, in the way he lingers just long enough to make sure I feel it. Then he's gone, his footsteps fading toward the exit. I sit there, the book trembling in my hands, and realize I'm not just fighting Lily and Noah. I'm fighting a system that lets them get away with it. A school that looks the other way because Noah's the quarterback and Lily's the golden girl. But I'm not backing down. Not now. That night, I'm home alone. My parents at a fundraiser, Lily at another study group that's probably just an excuse to be with Noah. I'm checking the mailbox out of habit when I find it. A plain manila envelope, no return address, just our family name in block letters. My hands shake as I tear it open. Inside is a single photo, grainy but unmistakable. Me, sprawled on the locker room floor, blood trailing from my lip, my eyes half open, unfocused. The angle is high, like it's from a security camera. Underneath, typed in stark black letters, "Silence won't save you." I stand frozen on the porch, the autumn air biting at my skin. My first thought is fear. Someone saw, someone knows. But then it shifts. Someone saw. Someone believes me. The photo isn't a threat, it's a lifeline. I slip it into my backpack next to the USB and head inside. The house is too quiet, the kind of quiet that amplifies every creak, every whisper of wind against the windows. I lock the door behind me, double-check it, and sit at the kitchen table, the photo staring up at me. I don't know who sent it, but I know what it means. I'm not alone. Dinner is leftover pizza, cold and tasteless, but I force it down. Mom texts me to say they'll be home late, and I don't reply. I'm tired of their dismissals, their blind devotion to Lily's future. I think about the shopping trip Mom suggested, her voice light and false, like a fresh coat of paint over a rotting wall. "Let's keep things light," she'd said, as if Lily's scholarship interview was worth more than my truth. I push the plate away and head upstairs, the photo and USB burning a hole in my mind. In my room, I sit at my desk, the USB in one hand, the photo in the other. I plug the USB in, watch the video again. Noah's voice, smug and careless, fills my ears. One shove, that's all it took. Freaking nobody. I pause it on his smirk, his face half lit by the parking lot lights. I open a new document and type, "I'm not doing this to ruin you, Lily. I'm doing this to stop becoming less than I am." The words feel like a vow, a promise to the girl I was before the locker room, before the laughter, before the silence. My phone buzzes, yanking me out of my thoughts. Another unknown number. The message is short. She's planning something worse. My stomach twists, but I don't panic. I screenshot it, add it to the growing folder of evidence on my laptop. I don't know who's sending these messages, but they're not scaring me anymore. They're fuel. Friday morning dawns cold and gray, the sky a heavy blanket over Riverview. I'm in the school restroom between second and third period, my backpack open on the floor when I hear the door creak. My heart lurches, but it's just Zoe, her eyes wide with worry. "Ava, you're going to the board meeting, right?" she asks, her voice urgent. I nod, not trusting myself to say more. She hesitates, then steps closer. "I heard Caleb talking. He said Noah's pissed about the camera thing. Be careful, okay?" I want to tell her I'm past being careful, but I just nod again. She squeezes my arm and leaves, and I'm alone with my reflection in the chipped mirror. The bruise on my lip is fading, but the cut still stings when I touch it. I pull out the screenshot of Noah's post, the one Lily liked, and tape it inside my locker next to Mia's note. It's not just evidence. It's a reminder of why I'm doing this. The day drags. Each class a countdown to 4:30 p.m. In history, I catch Caleb staring at me from across the room, his smirk gone, replaced by something harder. I meet his gaze, hold it until he looks away. It's a small victory, but it feels like power. At lunch, I skip the cafeteria and head to the gym corridor, needing to clear my head. That's when I see it. Mia, the freshman I helped, pinned against the trophy case again, this time by Ethan. His hand is on her shoulder, too tight, and her eyes are wide with fear. I don't hesitate. I stride over, my voice cutting through the air. "Back off, Ethan. Now!" He laughs, but it's forced and he doesn't move. "What, you're the hero now, Ava?" he sneers. I step closer, my heart pounding but my voice steady. "You heard me." He holds my stare, his grip on Mia tightening for a split second before he lets go. She stumbles back, her breath shaky. Ethan shrugs like it's nothing and walks away, whistling that same mocking tune. Mia looks at me, her eyes glistening. "Thank you," she whispers and slips away before I can respond. I turn to head to class, but Coach Bennett is there, leaning against the wall, his arms crossed. He saw the whole thing. You saw that, I say, my voice low but firm. How long does silence protect you? His jaw clenches, but he doesn't answer, just looks at the floor like it holds the answers he's too afraid to give. I walk away, my resolve hardening. I'm not just fighting for myself anymore. The school board meeting is held in room 206, a sterile rectangle with a long table, folding chairs, and a whiteboard that hasn't been touched in years. I arrive 10 minutes early, the USB in my pocket, the photo and screenshot tucked into a folder. The room is already half full with board members in stiff suits, a few teachers, and, at the far end, Lily, flanked by our parents. Mom's in her usual pearls, Dad's blazer too tight at the shoulders, both of them nodding like they're here for a photo op. Noah's there, too, his hair slicked back, his own blazer a mockery of innocence. I don't acknowledge them. I take a seat across the table, slide the USB onto the wood, and wait. Mrs. Evelyn Carter, the lead board member, adjusts her glasses and clears her throat. Ava, you have 10 minutes. Begin when you're ready. I stand, my legs steady, my voice clearer than I expect. This is what I lived, I say. You decide if it deserves silence. I plug in the USB, tap the space bar, and the projector hums to life. The video plays, raw and unfiltered, the gym hallways buzz, the shove, the clang of the locker, my body hitting the floor. My hand instinctively touches the faint scar above my lip. The video ends with Noah and his friends disappearing through the back exit. The room is silent, the kind of silence that feels like a held breath. Lily speaks first, her voice soft, rehearsed. This is awful, she says, her eyes wide with feigned shock. I didn't know. I would have stopped him. I look at her, not through her, not past her, but at her. You knew, I say, my voice quiet but cutting. Noah scoffs, shifting in his seat. We were just messing around, he mutters. People get so sensitive. Someone gasps, not out of sympathy but disgust. Miss Carter holds up a photo. The one from the talent show, Lily center stage, me half cut from the frame. This was submitted anonymously, she says. It's dated 4 years ago. This behavior isn't new, is it? Lily's mouth opens, but no words come out. Mom stares at the table. Dad clears his throat, but the room feels heavier, like the truth is finally taking up space. Then come the statements. Zoe's, read aloud. She was bleeding and I panicked, but she didn't cry. She just asked for paper towels. Harper's. I gave her the video because I couldn't watch someone lie anymore. And Coach Bennett's, typed and plain. I didn't speak because I was scared of losing my job. That's no excuse. The silence that follows isn't empty. It's alive, charged with understanding. Ms. Carter looks at the board, then at me. We've reached a decision. Noah Reed suspended for 30 school days, immediate removal from all team captainships and athletic privileges for the year. Lily Morgan, academic probation pending investigation into collusion and intimidation. They announce a student-led anti-bullying committee, optional but encouraged. No one curses, not because it's not deserved, but because the weight of the moment demands silence. I don't stay. I slide the USB back into my pocket and walk out, not out of shame or pride, but because I'm done. This isn't revenge, it's release. In the hallway, Noah steps out from behind a corner, his face not angry but practiced, like he's still the hero of his own story. This isn't over, he says, his voice low, teeth bared. I meet his stare. You're right, I say. It's just begun. I turn before he can respond, letting my words hang in the air. The community forum is that night, held in the high school auditorium, its red velvet seats squeaking under the weight of a packed crowd. Parents, students, teachers, even local reporters fill the rows. I sit in the third row, the USB still in my pocket, the though I won't need it. My hands are calm, folded in my lap. A staffer steps to the podium, scanning her notes. Our next speaker is Ava Morgan, Senior. The room quiets, the air shifting as I walk to the mic. Every step echoes, not just in the auditorium, but in me. I adjust the mic, take a breath, and speak. They called me a nobody. I believed it until I bled. The words hang, heavy and true. What happened in that locker room wasn't just an incident. It was the tip of a wound so quiet most of you didn't know it existed. I've been erased in 1,000 ways. Hand-me-down praise, forgotten promises, always being the one who had to understand. I glance at the front row. Mom's lips are tight, her hands clutching her purse. Dad looks like he's swallowed something sharp. Lily's not here. Bullies survive because people stay silent. I continue. Adults turn away, peers pretend they didn't see, and girls like me are told we deserve it. But I don't anymore. The tech assistant flips to a slide I sent in. A photo from the talent show. Lily shining, me a shadow. The crowd doesn't gasp, but they lean forward. That girl deserved more, I say, my voice soft but steady. So do all of us. I close with one line. This isn't just my story. It's about everyone you've let disappear. The applause starts slow, then spreads, sincere and heavy. I walk off stage, not needing their faces. I know what mine looks like now. Outside, the night is crisp, the autumn air cutting across my skin. Lily passes me near the vending machines, her hair pulled back, no makeup, her shoulders slumped. She doesn't speak, doesn't meet my eyes. I don't stop. Word spreads fast. Noah's withdrawing from the district, a polished way of saying he's running before worse comes. An older woman stops me near the exit, her cardigan smelling of lavender. You spoke for my granddaughter, she says. She's like you. I pause, breathless for the first time all night. I was like her too, I say, but not anymore. Later, as the crowd thins, I step outside. Leaves skitter across the sidewalk, chasing the wind. My phone buzzes. A message from Mia. Thank you for standing up. Someday I will too. I don't reply. Not yet. Some words don't need an answer. They just need to land. Monday morning, the halls feel different. Noah's gone, his locker cleaned out, whispers saying he's at a school 2 counties over, or maybe with an uncle in Idaho. I don't care. Lily's still here, but her steps are quieter, her laugh gone. I see her by the cafeteria, and for a moment our eyes meet. There's no glare, no smirk, just something hollow. She looks away first. There's nothing left to say. Classes resume their rhythm, but I'm not the same. Freshmen start nodding at me in the halls, their eyes curious, not afraid. In English, Mrs. Larson pulls me aside, handing me a flyer for a student-led workshop on voice and identity. Your perspective matters, she says. I take the flyer, its weight more than paper. At home, I find a note on my desk, Mom's handwriting careful. We didn't protect you. We're trying to learn how. I don't respond, but I keep it, tucking it under my journal. By Friday, the Community Youth Gallery opens its autumn showcase. I submit a series called No Longer Nobody, each photo a step from shadow to light. The final image is me, standing in soft light, camera in hand, facing the lens head-on. Mia finds me at the gallery, her eyes on the last photo. You still don't talk much, she says. I smile. I don't need to anymore. We stand shoulder to shoulder, the hum of the crowd fading. Think back to that talent show photo where I was nothing but a blur. Not anymore. I'm in focus now, and I'm not fading again.